I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about some kits. Shelter in place and the 72-hour kit. This is all about urban survival. Recently my company, Core Group, has started doing classes in urban survival, and even more recently, I say the last 6 weeks, one of my pet projects has been putting together kits for my family and friends. So what I've had to do is look at it from a cost-effective manner and say, how can I get everything they absolutely need for life support and shelter in place in a cost-effective manner. And I went to my checklist, I went to a lot of shopping, but this is what I've come up with. This is very similar to what I have in my house, but in my house I have, cost wasn't a factor, so I've gone absolutely all out in everything I have. As you can see, this kit right here, I probably got about, I'd say about $1,400 right here in gear in this bag. And in here, between the two, I probably got about $400 invested in each one of these, or in both of these together. So, and I've got the absolute basic necessities. I didn't skimp where you needed it. You'll see some, like Quick Clot. Hey, I spent the 40 bucks on it because Quick Clot is an absolute lifesaver. Multi-tool, the multi-tool I give you is a absolute lifesaver. You want a good multi-tool. The last thing you want is a tool that breaks. So certain things you don't scrimp on, certain things you can get away with. Toilet paper, I got tissue. It was $1 versus like 14 cents. So you look at it and say, okay, what do I really need to get the job done? And this is what I've come up with. First off, we want to talk about the shelter-in-place kit. Why would you need one? I can think of pandemic as absolutely one of the hugest reasons to have one. Possible pandemics. 20 years ago, 50 years ago, they wouldn't spread as fast. Now with air travel, you can, in 3 days, there can be a pandemic. Another reason was right here in Las Vegas, I'd say 1988, there was a jet fuel propulsion factory here in Henderson that blew up. Only 3 people were killed, but had that been a suburban area, there would have been hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. There was a shelter in place took place in effect that day. I remember the chlorine cloud that flew across Vegas and rapidly, luckily, went off into the mountains, but that's another reason you were sheltering in place. Obviously terrorism, we know about that, and anthrax and lots of gases, something that you'd want to shelter in place. You'd want to be able to stay where you are and seal your house up, seal your life support system down. And that's what we're going to do with here. So the shelter-in-place kit, what you get, a little Home Depot bucket. But the cheat sheet is right here. Your cheat sheet's going to talk to you. It's going to say go indoors and lock doors. You're going to seal any cracks. You're going to turn off your air conditioner heater. You're going to close all your system vents, including your laundry, your drainage hole there. Also seal everything. We've got plastic in here. We've got duct tape. So let's open it up and take a look. First, you're going to need masks. These are great masks, commonly used. You can go here, $4, or you can spend and get one of the best, Breath of Life, for about $35, $40. But either way, you need a mask because you got to protect your life support system first. Just like if you're on an aircraft, and the aircraft, the masks come down, you put the mask on first, then you help somebody else get their mask on. So get the mask on first. You've got plastic. The idea is to seal lots of plastic, to seal your vents, your windows, your door cracks. Use a towel, wet towel for the bottom of the door cracks along all the doors and vents. So you want to get we got an X-Acto knife. The X-Acto knife is for cutting. What you want to do is get that plastic up there first. Get your staple gun out there, staple it down, and then cut the plastic off as you do. Then you go back with duct tape and seal it. So you've got the more plastic and the duct tape. More plastic, work gloves, rubber gloves. You're always going to need light. Power goes out, something happens like that. Here's light. Check it off. You've always got good light. A multi-tool. I told you about that earlier. Something you really never can be without. So both kits have multi-tools in them. And water bags. This is 5 gallons, but you immediately want to get water in any case of it like that because the water in the pipes aren't going to be contaminated. This is a good 5 gallons, or you can go up and spend another $40 and get 100 gallons. This is called a water bottle. Put it right into your bathtub, fill it up from the water that's in the pipes already, and you've got 100 gallons of water. The average person needs 1 gallon of water to survive per day. That's just drinking and surviving and eating, and not including washing, sanitary needs, toilets, etc. That's 5 to 7 gallons a day. But just drinking is you need 1 gallon. So this is a little bit better. And you need an all-weather radio. Your personal kit will come with one. This one you'll need to put in this kit, but an all-weather radio, 40, 50 bucks, solar crankable Radio Shack. So now let's look at the 72-hour kit. This is the one that I put together. And I looked at it and said, okay, I'm going to color code it and make it easy. So right off the bat, you see the orange, you have red, and you have yellow. So the yellow is going to be tools. You can think of tools, and here we're going to go through that, but we'll have a shovel, we'll have a multi-tool, etc. Well, in here you have your orange is going to be the snivel kit. What I call the snivel kit. It's going to be your boo-boos, your band-aids, your neosporin, that kind of thing. And then your red is going to be medical. That's going to be trauma. That's where you're going to have your basic med kit at. Your not so much band-aids and stuff like that. It's going to be up here. So let's start off. Look up front, on top. We have a thermometer. This whole thing is about life support systems. So knowing the temperature in your area and knowing how to control that temperature so you can maintain body temperature is ultimately important. So this is a good thing to have. Right in the front thing, we come out with your snivel kit, with your checklist. I'm sorry, our cheat sheet. This is a checklist. Everyone's got one. And it goes through and says, okay, these items are in this bag, and this is the last time I checked this bag. In this particular pocket, we have medical shears for cutting off clothes. We have black talon gloves, 2 pairs, rubber gloves. We also have a flashlight. And we have a Gerber multi-tool. Next one, again, easy access was the reason for this. I thought of here, this is going to be the most important things I need to get quick access to, and they're going to be right up front. Right behind that is air. When I say air, that's where you're going to be your mask. I've got a couple masks in each of these kits right here. You've got mask first. You've got sunglasses. You don't really know how important these are until you don't have them and you've been walking for 2 days without sunglasses. This is really important. Then you have chem lights, a couple chem lights, and spare batteries. These spare batteries, you've got 2 AA's and 2 AAA's in here. Because that's, and the reason I've got it taped up so they don't touch each other or they don't conduct by touching other electricity. And here I have your basic water purification tablets, water fire I call it, my little water fire pack. I've got whistle, I've got a signal mirror, I've got spoon forks, you've got your Bic lighter, I've also got waterproof matches in here. And here you got your waterproof matches underneath the compass. There's a compass on top, waterproof matches inside. And your whistle for signaling. And in here you have what we call tinder. Tinder is something that will absolutely start fire. These are usually like greased cotton. In this particular case, these are similar greased cotton types of tinder, which is something you could light and then set it close to another piece of wood or smaller pieces of wood to get the bigger fire started. But these matches and that tinder will absolutely, with rain and snow, start fire. Fire is something important because you have to fuel and you have to eat. Also, we have fire sticks in here, and I did say we had the signal mirror. So that huge important fire water goes in top. I keep that on the front bag. Now let's open the snivel kit area. When I say snivel kit, that's what I call it. That's what I've called it for years. You've got your basic med kit, and you've got your snivel kit. The snivel kit's the one you open all the time. Oh, I cut myself. Oh, I got something injured over here. Oh, I got a headache. That kind of thing. So here I've got like some. I just bought these little handkerchiefs, but sanitary napkins, toilet paper, wiping off the blood. Instead of you wasting your gauze. Basic band-aids, but you're also going to have iodine, wipes. You're going to have a bigger Band-Aid and a smaller Band-Aid. Pills, I've got ibuprofen, and in the same capsule I've got 8 aspirin. So you've got ibuprofen and aspirin in this container. You also have a toothbrush, comb, safety pins. Safety pins, you don't really know how important they are until you get the opportunity or have the opportunity to use them. Overseas, I had a kid who was injured with shrapnel, and I took one of my safety pins and was able to close the flaps of blood, close the flaps of meat, and put them back in place so that his thigh would stay in one location, whereas the meat wouldn't flap around. Anyway, I've also got Neosporin in here as well. And Benadryl. Benadryl is used for bee stings, itching, and in some cases, if you don't have an EpiPen and you get somebody an anaphylactic shot, I'm going to use a Benadryl on them. I'll probably use 2 if I don't have an EpiPen. But Benadryl, it's always something you want in your snivel kit. Right behind the snivel kit, this is reflective tape right here. Right behind that, I carry a notebook. I always carry a journal. I've got pen, paper. In here, I've got like a journal, pen, paper, and a wilderness survival guide. So this is all laminated. So once you've got it, you can read it. And if you ever have to use it, it's there so you can read it. And make sure you're doing the right thing. All right, in here you saw I just pulled on the red tab there. That means I went into the medical pouch. First off, I have the tissue, more tissues I talked about before. Also some Purell, some antibacterial lotion, and a pen and paper. So here in the med kit, let's talk about this first real quick. This is the important stuff. When blood starts to gushing and you start having, you need gauze immediately. Gauze. Get that. I've also got medical tape in here. Foil blanket for shock, keeping him warm. Tourniquet. I'm going to show you that here in a second. Israeli bandage. I'm going to show you that too in a second. Also, a triangular bandage is a sling. Directions right on it. Several pieces of gauze and quick clot gauze. I've used this in combat, saved people. This is the latest, greatest version of it, and it will coagulate massive bleeds. And when I'm talking massive bleeds, I talk about squirters. You see something squirting out there, that's an arterial bleed. That needs to be stopped. You need to apply pressure, put your finger down in there, and if you have this, this will help assist in coagulating that wound. This is great stuff, and that's why I'd spend the money and get this. Real quickly, I'm going to show you how these are used. So we, like a mini med class. Jimmy, if you can come over here for a second. We use Jimmy as an example. This has a little slot where you would reach into it. So I would actually go over here, I'd rip it open, and it comes out just like gauze. So I'll rip it out, the gauze would come out like that, and I would stick it into the wound, just like that, and I would continue to roll in it, sticking it inside the wound, filling the wound till the blood stops, and then continuing to pack this around, at which time I could actually wrap it. But you want to stick as much of it in the wound as possible until it overflows. And then I'm going to put what we call the Israeli bandage on it. Israeli bandage is this right here. And here I'm going to take the white part out. The white part's going to go on the top of the wound. And then I'm going to go all the way over, go through. I'm going to cover the edges, applying pressure, continued pressure on it. And meanwhile, you're always talking to your patient. You're always assessing your patient continuously as you're doing this. But you see how easy this bandage works and locks down. If I had to apply more pressure right here, I could twist this plastic T-bar. I could absolutely apply more pressure on that. And I come around, and it has a little safety kind of pin. And it sneaks right in there, and it'll be able to tuck right in there. And and then push it over there, and tuck it into the other side, and it's put in there. So a quick clot with an Israeli bandage is a great method to attack an aggressive arterial bleed or an arterial wound. All right, thanks, Jimmy. While Jimmy's taking that one off, I'm going to talk to you about the quick clot, or excuse me, the tourniquet. You can go, and I prefer to spend 50 or 60 bucks on a cat T or a soft bead tourniquet, but again, being cost effective and still being able to get you something into this kit, this is another method of utilizing a tourniquet. Jimmy, let me borrow your, since you're still up here, I'm going to borrow you again. So let's get his other arm here. So here, quick way. Again, Jimmy's hand shot, or there's a massive cut right here. So I'm going to go above the wound, above the elbow. I want to place it, and in this particular case, just put it, insert the loop, come back across it, keep it fat, keep it wide. When I mean fat and wide, that's what I want to see. I want to see fat and wide going over the butt. There, keep it across, keeping it, and I want to see, you'll know when you're tight enough because you'll see the blood slow down. And then you'll squirt right in, and then you can stick it into the wound right there. Then you put gauze on the wound, but the first thing is use the tourniquet to stop it if you don't have something like quick clot or if you don't have gauze. It's an absolutely great little tourniquet and easy to operate. All right, I'll send you off. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. So as you can see, kind of a medical kit, but this is absolutely wonderful in a crisis situation. You can have one. All right, so we've gone through the basic front of this kit now. Let's look on this side. This side we have a water bottle. I've got a water bottle in here. I've got another 2 water containers inside. They come to you empty, but when you put them in your vehicles, please load this up. Fill this up with water. Fill the Camelback up with water. Fill the water container up with water. Because when you go down, the water needs to be there. You don't need to say, hey, I'll go fill it up somewhere. So fill this up with water. And on the other side, yellow, we have the toolkit. Some basics here. You're going to have a headlamp. Now you notice we had lights here up earlier, so we've got a flashlight in the main front side, and we've got a headlamp on the right side. So you get your headlamp, you've got a small fishing kit, and you've got a Sierra saw. Sierra saw opens up there and allows you to cut trees, cut wood, cut limbs, and gain that firewood. Absolute must here. And you've got our mini shovel hand pick. Comes out. Opens up, these two screw together, comes a little shovel, a little hand pick. And having a shovel in a bad situation or having something you can use leverage is almost always a must. In my kit, I not only have a shovel, but I have a hatchet and I have a pry bar. A leverage to give me good leverage. All right, so that covers both sides. Now let's go to the front real quick. I didn't show you that. On the front, I put here what I call one of our folding knives. So the reason I taped it here, and I tape it like that, as I tape all these things, with a little flap there. So when I need it, I just start to rip it off, and it comes right off. Then it stays right there. There's no sense in having that if you can't have quick access to it. This is a folding knife, so you just flop it open, it opens up. It's got a seatbelt cutter on it, and it's got a window breaker on it. So this is an absolutely 3-in-1 tool. Great little tool, and it's a great little hand weapon. All right, let's go to the inside. All right, this is a stove. This will last you 2 days of fuel. You need to eat the freeze-dried food, you only need like 5 minutes of boiled water. So this should last an hour, so you can literally keep this for a few days if you follow the directions on this. This is called stove in a can. Okay, we're going to have A canteen, which is a must for cooking your fuel and drinking water as well. So a canteen. And freeze-dried food. Can't say enough about this because first day in a survival situation, you're going to need the majority of your energy. So keeping calories in this bag is super important. 600 calories right here, 400 calories right there. Average person, man, my size, 190 pounds, utilizes probably 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day. So you can go on that scale. Do I need that? No. The rule of threes. I can survive 3 days without water, 3 hours without, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So yeah, I can survive, but I can operate a lot more efficiently and get my brain thinking about those things. Survival is all about the mind. The best tool we have as survival is our mind, is utilizing our brain to figure us our way. When you look at operators in this world, first responders, SEAL team operators, Air Force paramedic the difference is problem solving. How do you problem solve? In this situation is an absolute must to think, stop. You know, first the S stands for stop. Okay, then I got to think. You know, then I got to observe, and then I got to come up with a plan. So as I do those things, I formulate a better plan for moving forward. All right, more calories. This is a 3,600 calorie bar. Okay, you can eat it chunks. You know, you could operate well with 12. I could operate efficiently with 12 to 1,400 calories per day, which means I could last a week right here with this right there. All right, CB radio. This necessarily doesn't have to be in your kit, but I highly recommend it in your vehicle. Okay, 4 watts of power, line of sight 3 or 4 miles. The antenna will come off. It'll go on top of your car. This kit is designed to keep in your car at all times. It gives you communications and access to people talking other than you, especially at nighttime. This can go for literally hundreds of miles because of the ionosphere. It can actually bounce off, and you can actually possibly get in contact with somebody several, tens if not hundreds of miles away because of the atmosphere at night. So, absolute big idea, must-have, CB radio. Breaker 19. Gloves, non-slip gloves, always something good to have here, especially in kit. A hat, like the sunglasses, you're not going to know you want it until you don't have it. So, cheap little hat, as they'll put in there. A blanket, this is a foil sleeping blanket. It will work. You jump in it just like you did a sleeping bag, put it on the outside, you zip it up, and it maintains your body heat, keeping you warm. AM/FM survival weather radio, just like the one we talked about before, but in your kit. Batteries there, it's got a light on it, illumination, weather channel, allows you to go to those FEMA stations and find out what's going on in the world out there. Garbage bags. Garbage bags, what can I say? 3 mil plastic on the big black ones in here. I've got 2 big black ones, I've got 2 small ones, and I've got several rubber bands on the outside. Because all this stuff is for latching. And when you start putting stuff together and you start improvising and you start problem solving, things that you'll need, it's like, okay, I got rubber bands here, I've got safety pins there, I've got sticks over here, what can I come up with? How do I get past this next thing? How do I move this? And rubber bands, plastic bags, garbage bags, a poncho. You cut a hole in them, you got a poncho. You stiff them full of leaves and you lay them underneath, you got a little bed that you can lay on. You put garbage bags on top of you and use them for warmth, like a solar blanket. You can fill them with leaves and put them and sleep underneath them, allowing layers of air to keep in there. There's so many good things you can utilize garbage bags for, and they're inexpensive and easy to get to. Also, right here on the front, I've got another flashlight. So you've got a total of 3 lights in this kit, and some pepper spray. Hey, I'm not loading you up with weapons here, other than self-protection. Pepper spray is always, you wanted easy access, that's why I have it.
Go.
Well, we ran out of battery, so we had to do a cut there. I was trying to do this without a cut, because I don't want to spend any time editing this thing. But we're back. I'm going to finish this off. Something I didn't mention earlier when I talked about the water and fire kit up here in the front is there's water purification tablets in there. There's 20 tablets. 1 tablet is going to give you 1 quart of water. So every time you come across stagnant water, put that in a container. And I've got another water container here on the side. So not only do you have the green water bottle on the side, you have a water container here, flexible, that you can put a water tablet in there, shake it up, put it in your pocket, 30 minutes later, come out, you've got some purified water. It's not going to taste great, but it's going to be purified. It's not going to have bugs in it. And that's what the water purification tablets are for. If you want to spend some more money, you can spend another $75 and come up with one of these water pumps, purification pumps. They're great. I have one in my kit. I have one of these, and then I carry a couple of the same thing, water bottles, so I can actually pump it in here and then set it off and shake it and let it finish filtering. So just another option for here. But here we do have water purification tablets in the front where the fire starter was, where the tinder was, where the matches were, all that in the front part here. All right, we talked about garbage bags, but we didn't. Here we were going to talk about duct tape. Always you want to have some duct tape. Here I've got I think a 50-foot roll of duct tape. Let's open up, take a look at it. This is what I call my latching bag. It's latching stuff together. So I'm going to have all kinds of zip ties, as you see. When I need to set up a tent or set up something on the wall, I can zip these around trees, zip these around area, tie things together. I've got, in here I've got not only the duct tape, but I've got black tape. And then I've got some wire, some 28-gauge wire, which is, you can flex and move around and cut. And I've also got wire cutters in the tool area. So here you have a great abundance of items. So I've also got some I'm not sure what I'm having a brain fart here. Sorry. Jimmy, what do we call these?
Spongy.
Spongies?
Spongy cord.
Spongy cords. Okay. 3 of them, I think 6 of them actually, and they've got latching on there. So, excuse me. But most importantly, I've got some cheap plastic 50-foot of clothesline rope, because it was priced right, and then I've got the more expensive 80 feet of 550 cord. This is 550 cord because it's tested to 550 pounds, parachute cord. So this is really good stuff for latching, for making tents, for making a lean-to, for making shelter. All right. Now one of the things you need for shelter is a tarp, and that's what we have here. And it's another must-have item, because getting yourself warm, getting yourself your core temperature down to normal and keeping yourself that during your resting period is absolutely necessary. Whether it's from shade from the sun or whether it's from the elements like rain or snow, you want to be able to make shelter. And this tarp gives you that ability. Inside the tarp, I've got your Camelback. Empty when received, but please fill it up. This is a Camelback going through, you'll see it, it'll come through the top here. So not only do you have a paneling to make shelter, we've got water, a couple methods of water in here as well. Put these kits together, because love you guys. The reality is this is not for any of my classes. This video right now is just for you guys. These kits are just for you guys. And if you want to look at this, you can get out there and make these kits. And this is the absolute necessity. The checklist is right there, so it's easy to update these things. Easy to ask me any questions on this. With that note, damn, I was doing really good. Wouldn't have any of those until the end. Thanks, appreciate it. Love you guys.